I told you I have a special guest for you today. Let me go get her. Hey guys, it's Miss Hilda, your special guest today. Today we're going to be talking about central idea. Okay, let's look at that. Before we talk about central idea, Miss Garza told me that y'all were talking about theme last week, so I want to go over theme a little bit, okay? Let's look at this anchor chart over here. Thinking about theme. The theme of a story is a message, lesson, or moral of the author wants you to learn. Common themes: courage, perseverance, honesty, good versus evil, kindness, acceptance. What does the author want you to think about? Where does it show up? Another common theme is loyalty, friendship and love, and compassion. After you finish that story, you want to ask yourself these questions. What idea stays with you? How did the characters grow or change? Keep that in mind, because remember, fables have themes. And the theme is the lesson of the story. So let's talk about central idea now. The central idea is the most important idea or point about that topic. Supporting details is what holds up that central idea. Supporting details are facts or examples in the text that tells about the central idea. As I've said in class before, think about a hamburger. A hamburger, you have to have the meat. The meat is the central idea. You have to have that, or it does not make a story or a hamburger. You need lettuce, tomatoes, cheese to make it juicy and yummy, and those are the supporting details. Now, let's look at another anchor chart over central idea of the things I want you to think about while reading a text or listening to a text. Good readers can identify central idea by, first off, the central idea is what the text is mostly about. Here are some clues that I want you to tell yourself or think about as you're reading the story. What is this text mostly about? Look at titles and headings. Sometimes the titles and headings will help you identify the central idea. Look at the pictures. Sometimes the main idea is stated in the first or last sentence. So if you're reading a passage, look at that first sentence and the last sentence, and sometimes the central idea is there. Look for clue words that are used repeatedly. Look for those words. Those can help you identify the central idea in the text. So I'm going to read you a story now, and we're going to find the central idea and the supporting details in this text, and then we're going to fill out an anchor chart to identify the central idea and the supporting details. Okay, let me find my chair, and we're going to read this story. May Day around the world. Uppsala, Sweden. Gustav has never been up this late. He watches his father throw another piece of old furniture in the bonfire. Tonight they are celebrating Valburger's Eve, the last day before spring. Gustav's neighbors sing songs around the fire. His mother brings him a green blanket and a bowl of nettle soup. Spring is coming in the morning, she whispers. Gustav curls up in the blanket and feels the lovely warmth of fire. Austin, Texas, USA. Maria and Carlos put a May Day basket on Miss Garcia's doorstep. The basket is filled with purple violets and a chocolate bar. Maria rings the doorbell and they run behind a big oak tree. Creak! The door is opening. Maria peeks out from behind the trunk. Happy May Day, Miss Garcia. Paris, France. Adele races through the park with a coin clutched in her hand. May Day is her favorite time of year. Everyone is wearing bright colors and the birds are starting to sing. One lily of the valley, she says to the man selling flowers. Adele runs back to her grandfather and puts the flower in his buttonhole. Happy May Day, Grandpa. Waialae, Hawaii, USA. A lot helps Aunt Malia get ready for Lay Day parade. Her aunt has been crowned Lay Queen. How do I look? asks her aunt. You forgot something, says Ala. She slips a long, delicate lei of Elema blossoms over her aunt's head. The lei smells sweet and fresh, just like springtime. Now you forgot something, says her Aunt Malia. Giving a lei means you get a kiss. Peace Marsh, England. Annabelle and Edward are dancing around the maypole. They've been practicing for weeks. If they get the steps just right, the ribbons will wind around the pole in a beautiful crisscross pattern. Annabelle wears her new white dress and yellow ribbon in her hair, the color of the first spring daisies. Edward is dressed as the Green Man, full of mischief. Oh no! Edward's dog, Sammy, is running toward the maypole. He wants to dance too. Watch out, Edward. The end. So now we're going to fill out an anchor chart together and talk about the central idea and the supporting details that support that central idea. So let's look over here. Before we fill out or figure out the central idea, let's talk about the supporting details in that story, because that's what's going to help us identify the main idea. So the different supporting details in the story, May Day, were how they each celebrated May Day, right? So Sweden first. What did they do? What did they do? Was it just about Sweden, or is that just a detail? Sweden would be just a supporting detail. Sweden, what do? They celebrate and sing songs and eat soup. So that's going to be our first supporting detail. So I'm going to put Sweden, sing songs, and enjoy some soup. Okay, that's a supporting detail because it just does not talk about Sweden the entire time. It talks about other places, right? Okay, let's talk about the next one. Austin, Texas. I think that's a supporting detail because it just does not talk about Austin, Texas the entire time, right? So in Austin, Texas, they give out purple violets and a chocolate bar, right? And that right there is the cheese and the lettuce, because it does not just talk about Sweden the entire time, and it does not talk about Austin the entire time, right? Okay, next is Paris, France. What do? Well, in the story, they talked about wearing lilies on them. Wearing lilies. Okay. Next place they talked about is Hawaii. And what did they do in Hawaii? Did the story just talk about Hawaii the entire time? No. So that's another supporting detail. Hawaii they wore leis to support May Day. Okay, right? And then last was England. And in England, they danced around the maypole. Okay, let me explain why these are supporting details and not the central idea. One, it did not just talk about Sweden the entire story. If it talked about Sweden the entire time, then yes, that would be the central idea. It did not just talk about Austin, Texas the entire time, nor Paris, Hawaii, or England. It talked about all of them. So what do we think the central idea if it's talking about all the different celebrations? You're right. The central idea of the story is, let's see what is old, bear with me. Celebrations of May Day around the world. So let's go over the Sanka chart. Central idea, celebrations of May Day around the world. Supporting detail, Sweden, they sing songs, they enjoy soup. That's part of a celebration around the world to celebrate May Day. In Austin, Texas, they give out purple violets in a chocolate bar. In Paris, they wear lilies. In Hawaii, they wore leis to celebrate May Day. And in England, they dance around a maypole. All of these right here is the supporting details to support this central idea. Next week, we will review some central idea and theme some more, and we'll talk about something else. Bye guys, thank you for watching.